hi, it's Liz here, and today I thought we could make a tag together. I was having a play earlier on and I made these two tags. How cute are they? Two animal tags. I've got a giraffe. I have absolutely no desire to fit in and I have a donkey. I plan my whole day around the possibility of a nap. So a little bit of a collaged background using little scrappy pieces, and I stamped and watercoloured the image and added a little bit of an eyelet and a bit of fabric and a little fabric tag with some loose thread and a button, and I stitched all the way around. So I think we'll make one together. Let's find a spot in the journal for one of these tags. I thought this little page here might be quite nice for this little guy. I love that something sticks out the top and something sticks out the side. And I'm just going to clip it on. There we go. That makes me smile. When I get to that page, I'll be like, all right, there's the little donkey, and we'll keep this one for another day. So today, first of all, let me show you the stamps that these came from. So the donkey is from this set by Tracy Hay. It's called All Ears, and you get the big donkey, and that looks like a hare with the big ears, two big-eared mice, and a few leaves and bits and bobs. This is Tracy Hay. Alpaca Pals is the name of the website. It's a UK-based website. She's got lots of lovely stamps. In fact, the lion we're going to use is also Tracy Hay. And the giraffe is, I'm sure it's pink ink. I think I got this one free with a magazine. Yeah, so, but it's definitely pink ink, which I think as well is a UK based company, but I'm not entirely sure of that. But I'm sure if you Google pink ink designs, then yeah, super cute. Okay, we'll just put them down there. So I've got a tag base all cut out. I used the free papers I got, there's written on the back here somewhere, from Stampington. You know those magazines you get, the Art Journal magazine? Well, you get Stampington as well, and you get some free papers, and I tore them all out because I wanted to start using them. So I cut off a bit from that sheet, I think it was, yep. They're really cool papers that you get free with that magazine. Okay, so we're going to use this. This is Tracy Hay again, in association with Alpaca Pals, and it's called Warrior. And yeah, so let's get the Warrior out from the package, and you get some sentiments. You get, there's nothing more perfect than doing your best. I can, I will. Awesome, brave, kind, be you. Be kind, be brave, be awesome. Yeah. And then some kind of little scores. So we'll just pop him on. Ooh. There we are. We'll just pop him on an acrylic block. Leave that to the side for the moment. I've got my VersaFine Onyx Black, which is waterproof, and so we'll be able to colour in with the waterproof pens. I've got my bigger stamping block here. This is Fiskars. It is absolutely ancient. I'm not sure. I think it was a precursor to those stamping platforms that you get. So plenty ink. And I've got a piece of this mixed media multi-techniques because you can use watercolour. I just bought this in my local Hobbycraft. I always wait until it's on offer, which is quite often. And we will just press this down. Doesn't matter where on the paper because we're going to cut round it. Give it a good squeeze. Yay! So we'll just leave that aside. And I've got my water and I have my paintbrush and my Derwent Inktense blocks. So we're thinking maybe kind of yellowy and green and maybe brown to pick up the colours on the background. And what we'll do is we'll paint this first and then we will collage up a little bit of it. Don't want to cover up too much of this one, but I've got some tiny scrappy bits here that we can use. And a wee roll of washi. Okay, so let me just get that back just to the side a little bit there. I've got my scrappy bits of card to try out and a little bit of a napkin. So we'll have to decide whether we're doing the main lots of different colours or maybe just 2 or 3 different colours and alternating it. But I think I'm going to do them yellowy green, even although I might cover up some of that. Yeah, that's quite nice. So let's just do his main face first. We'll just do one layer and then we'll go back in, I think, and add some little bits of shading and decide what side the sun is coming from or what side is going to be in shadow so that we can just going to do away with that bit of line there that I'm getting for some reason. There we are. Right, so I think what we'll do as well is his legs the same colour. He's going to be very green. He's a green lion. I think anything can happen in Crafty World. Maybe I should have done that bit the brown colour because I'm not sure that I'm liking that green. He looks a bit sick, doesn't he? Looks like he's going to be... Oh, do you know, I'm not sure. I think I'm going to stamp him again before I do much further because I'm really not liking that green colour. He is definitely looking a bit ill. And we can't have a poor sick lion. Yeah, the browny beigey colour for his face will definitely be, and then we can do the green maybe in sections round. Yes, I think that's what we'll do. I'm just going to cut that maybe one day I will need a green lion. Right, let's, moving along, nothing to see here. And if I was any good at editing villagers videos, I could have just started again and edited that bit out, but that just seems like too much to do. And you know, we've got to show the bad with the good, I think. There we are, that's much better, isn't it? Really, what was I thinking? Come on. And of course with watercolours, or using this kind of style of colouring, of being a bit watery, what I quite like is sometimes, like, you do get little bits that are over the line, and you know, and it just doesn't have to be perfect, because that's the kind of style of watercolour that I like. Right, now, oh, his ears. I'm forever forgetting ears. And I can't cut those ones off because they're over there and they won't be cut off. Right, okay, so let's give him a colourful mane then. So let's try a yellow. This is much better. Right, and if we do every, right, let's think a yellow, a greeny colour, and maybe a purpley one. So green, purple, yellow, green, purple, yellow, green, purple, yellow, and of course green, purple, and that yellow would be with that yellow. So we'll deal with that when we get to that odd one. Maybe I should have counted and picked 4 colours instead of 3 colours, but we'll just do one of the little feathers yellow as well. I don't want to start again, that's for sure. Right, let's do this other shade of green. Oh, that's very dark. Maybe we'll do a little mix. That's better. Yes, that's a better colour. Okay, it's going to be 2 greens together. It's just going to be yellow and green with no purple, or whatever the other colour was I decided. That actually looks quite nice, doesn't it? The 2 greens. Now, are we going to do 2 yellows together? I think we'll have to do that. There we are. Okay, so now we need to do the other feather. And we'll do his little face bits yellow too. His war paint, I think. Right, now I'm just going to finish off by adding a little bit of the brown. We're going to pretend that the sun is over here. No, we're not. We're going to pretend the sun is over here, And so this bit will be brighter on this side. And this, now is that right? Anyway, whatever side the sun is on, I'm going to do this side a little bit darker and that side. Maybe I was right the first time that the sun is over there and so is lighting up that side. That's it. And this side is in a wee bit of a shadow. So this side of his leg and then under there. And that's just going to be a little bit of a shadow, and we'll just dry the brush and just kind of blend that in to the light side. Yeah, so that's the dark side, that's in shadow. And then the light is hitting the there. Right, now we just need to do this little band across here. Add a little bit round. Whoops. I'm just adding a little bit of shade into these as well. Because I do want it to look quite watery and quite kind of each colour to be a little bit, not two-tone, but kind of, it's hard to describe. Right, I'm going to leave that to dry and then we'll cut it out. In the meantime, we will do our little bit of collage on, whoops, so we'll leave him to dry. Move the water out of the way. Whoops, throwing the Pritt stick away. Right, so he's going to be here somewhere. So we want to just kind of, I don't want to cover up too much. I might actually just collage a wee bit down the side there. What have I got? That bit's quite nice. Just going to cut that off. Just some random little bits just to give us a little bit of interest on the background. And I know that it will in the main be covered in the main. Do you see what I did there? Maybe just up the side a little bit like that. And we can always add a little bit of washi. Right, let's just stick this down. I was thinking there that, you know how you get those TV programs where they then show blooper reels of all the mistakes that have been made. And I was thinking to myself there, I could have done lots of blooper videos. That's for sure. We'll stick this side down. Let's get more writing on the other side. And then if we've got any odd edges that I don't like, we can use a little bit of torn washi. Okay, so just a little bit of something. Thinking maybe a little bit. A little bit there, and maybe a little bit there. We'll see what's peeking out. We can always take that off. Now that's nearly dry. Okay, let's try and not smudge it. It's those two yellow bits of mane that are a little bit, and this is what I do when I'm fussy cutting. See any little bits that are narrow or going to be a little trickier, just leave them to the end. And what I'm going to do is just going to go round and do those little bits that are in between the mane. Do them one at a time. Right, oh, I got my finger in the yellow there. So now we can just go back and do all these little V's. So I just find it easier to do rather than when it's little bits that are the same like this. You can get into a little routine rather than in and out and having to turn the whole image each time. You know, if you were just going round it all at once. Well, I find anyway, I know people have got their own ways of fussy cutting, as they call it. And I know lots of people don't like it. I actually don't mind it. I find it quite relaxing to just cut out. I could actually sit and cut things out all day if I didn't have other things to do. There's a little white bit in there. There we are, a haircut for the lion. Is that the last one? Yep. There we are. Just this tricky tail now. Let's not try and cut his tail off. Won't be the first time I have cut off many things over the years. Bits of arms and bits of legs and all sorts. I think I cut off ears the other week, the other day. There we are. Oh, he's cute, isn't he? Right, let's get those bits out of the way and see how he's going to go on our tag. Oh yeah, well, he's covering up completely that bit of washi, but I think I'll put him slightly to the side because that's what I did with the other ones. Just over a little bit. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is take that off and put it down here. That's better. Right, because there was a little line there at the bottom of that. Okay, so what we need to think about next is, well, taking it to the sewing machine and sewing round, adding an eyelet and finding a little bit of fabric to go through the eyelet. So what we're looking for is a bit of yellow or green or something that will contrast nicely out my scrappy box. Now, there's this. It's amazing how you don't have the colour. You've got like every single bit of colour under the sun. That might be too short. And we don't need to make them the same. Oh, here's a nice kind of bit that's attached. Right, let's see. What we can do with these before we switch you off and I'll go to the sewing machine. That's funny, that's kind of almost like it's stuck together for some reason. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's quite nice. And we could do a re-tag with that and have a contrasting one. Or we could put this, a little bit of this. This opens up. Could have a little bit of that. That's quite nice down there. And then it would be this up here. Yeah, I think we'll go for that. Now, do I want it on before I stitch round or after? Because if I stitch round, that will cover up. So I think I'm going to put that on just now. So just a little bit, because we're going to stitch it. So we only just need a little bit of glue just to hold it on. While we take it to the machine. And I'll put my eyelet on after we've been to the machine as well. So we'll get that out ready. Oh, that's cute, and that'll be nice up there. Right, okay, I'm going to go to the sewing machine and I'll be back. Okay, I have stitched around. If you don't have a machine, we can just draw a line with a fine liner pen or just leave it plain. Sometimes I just leave them plain. Yeah, he's nice on there. Right, let's pick out an eyelet. Maybe just have a little gold coloured one. There's a yellow one. I'll have the yellow. Right, so it's the bigger hole punch for this. We'll punch our hole and pop that in. And then use the squeezy part. Oh, need your porridge for that. Let's give it another squeeze. Not too bad. Right, put these in here. Eyelets. There we are. And we will hopefully get this through. For some reason it's quite, this is sari silk ribbon, and for some reason this piece I've managed to dig out my scrap box is quite stiff. It's usually quite like silky and soft. There we are. I think we'll just give it a wee haircut. Yeah, looks quite grungy actually. And I think last thing, now the other two I put a button. We might add a button and we might add some words. So not last thing. In fact, we'll definitely add some words because I think I've got some words picked out for him. We'll put it slightly over to the left there. Oh, he's cute. Right, so I've got my little jar of buttons and I've got my words. So these are the other ones that I hardly use. The small talk, snarky ones. I'm not in love with these, but occasionally you find something if you're using something that fits. Then, you know, you can find something, but I do find them quite odd. Now, I've got this one flipped up. I meant to behave, but there were too many other options in it. Do you know, I don't know. Now, I'm actually going to look at the other ones. Because I don't think there's any other ones that will suit this cute lion. And I'm thinking maybe oh, there's Millie giving it a, oh, because the door had cracked open and she stood in the hall and shook. Now, what about Wanda? Is that Wanda or Wonder? No, it's Wanda. There's Be You Bravely, because a lion's brave, isn't it? Be You Bravely. I think we'll have it down here. Now, do we want a button? Have we got a little, there's a little tip, see if I can grab that one before it disappears into the bowels of the jar. There. That's quite cute, isn't it? Now, have I got any of that thready stuff? I've been saving my wee bits of thread. I saw somebody doing this with bits of thread and I thought, I'll save my bits of thread and do that. And you just kind of bumfle it up. Yeah, I think we'll do that. That's quite cute. That's today's word, cute. And I think we'll just put a dollop of the Pritt stick for that, and then I will use a glue dot for the button. Oh, just rummage that up a wee bit. There we are. Okay, that's us. That was a bit of fun. Yeah. Right, where did I put the other two? Let's see how they look together. We'll take him out just now. Here he's in the middle. Yeah. What do you think? They're all... Yeah, I love these. I have to say, this has been my favourite thing I've made in a little while, to be honest. Yeah, happy with them. Okay, that's me today. Thanks for joining me. If you've enjoyed the video, a thumbs up would be great, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.